Whispers beneath the stones, beneath the ancient streets of Istanbul, a city layered with centuries of memory, lies a secret that has eluded historians, archaeologists, and explorers for generations. Most visitors to the city walk unknowingly above. It passed the Hagia Sophia over the old hippodrome, and beside the Basilica Cisternun, aware that the earth beneath their feet may be hiding one of the greatest mysteries of the Byzantine Empire, a forgotten underground palace, once home to a secret council said to influence emperors from the shadows. The legend speaks of an enormous chamber, carved deep beneath the foundations of Constantinople, where 12 hooded figures met in silence. They were not elected officials or crowned rulers, but something else entirely, guardians of knowledge, or perhaps something far more dangerous. These stories have always hovered between myth and madness. The official records make no mention of such a council. The Byzantine archives, as extensive as they are, remain silent, but silence is not absence. In 1987, a Turkish historian named Dr. Leyla and Cem stumbled upon an Ottoman era blueprint tucked away in the forgotten corner of the Topkapi Palace archives. It was dusty, faded, and nearly unreadable, but one symbol caught her eye: an arrow pointing beneath the hippodrome. Labeled not in Turkish, Greek, or Arabic, but in Latin, Consilium Obscurum. The hidden council, it would be the beginning of a decades-long search, one that would take her through tunnels, archives, and whispered warnings. One that might have ended in disaster, or worse, in silence enforced by fear. But it all began with a map, a name, and a city that always keeps its deepest secrets buried below. In the weeks that followed her discovery of the mysterious map, Dr. Leyla and Cem became consumed by its implications. Respected academic at Istanbul University with a specialization in Byzantine architecture, Leyla was not a believer in legends or whispers. But the blueprint, faded and buried in the archives of Topkapi Palace, was undeniably real. And the Latin inscription, Consilium Obscurum, etched with precision, gnawed at her rational mind. She spent sleepless nights cross-referencing the map with ancient plans of Constantinople, modern city infrastructure, and forgotten Ottoman renovation records. Patterns began to emerge. The same underground voids and unexplained structural dead zones were marked across several centuries. She noticed that construction in those areas often stopped without explanations, even collapsing, only to be sealed and forgotten. The deeper she looked, the more she found a trail of disappearances and disinterest. But one record stood out. A 17th century Ottoman police report described a renovation near the hippodrome that abruptly halted after workers broke through to a chamber of black air and carved silence. The report ended with an imperial seal and a terse command: no further excavation, site sealed. Forbidden. Leyla copied every note, every name, and every coordinate. She knew she couldn't do this alone. Discredited theories and whispery discoveries had ruined reputations before hers. So she contacted her old friend, archaeologist Cem, cautious but brilliant expert in underground surveying. When she showed him the map, his face paled. He had seen similar markings before, just ones on a fragment unearthed from the Theodosius walls, bearing a matching symbol, a 12-pointed star inside a circle. That's not an imperial crest, he said, voice barely above a whisper. That's a seal of a council, but not one that ruled openly. Leyla didn't smile. She simply asked, "Will you help me find them?" A week after their quiet agreement, Leyla and Cem stood before the crumbling entrance of a 17th century Han, long since abandoned and now surrounded by scaffolding. The Han was slated for conversion into a boutique hotel, but renovation had stalled. Due to unexplained structural weaknesses in the lower foundations, Cem, leveraging his connections in the archaeological board, secured them a limited access permit officially for historical documentation. Unofficially, they were searching for a myth. The map from the Topkapi archive led them to the rear of the Han, where the stonework changed subtly older, rougher, mismatched. Cem tapped along the walls with a metal rod, listening for hollowness. Near a soot-darkened arch, the sound changed. A section rang faint and empty. Found a dislodged brick. With cautious force, they removed eye-tanned, Then another, and another. The hollow grew. Behind it, a wooden panel, blackened with age and covered in Byzantine icon patterns, emerged. They pried it loose. The stale air that escaped was colder than they expected. Beneath the panel lay a staircase spiral, narrow, descending into utter blackness. They looked at each other in silence. "This isn't on any modern city plan," Cem murmured. Lee lit a lantern. The ancient brass flickered as if the very air resisted illumination. She stepped forward first, cautious but determined. The stairs groaned under their weight, dust rising like ancient sighs. Symbols etched into the walls marked the descensum in Greek, others unrecognizable. A few were hastily scratched out, almost violently, 20 steps down. They reached a threshold, a low arched doorway sealed with a bronze plate. It bore the same 12-pointed star. Around it, Latin words wrapped like a curse. "Only those who remember may enter." Leyla placed her hand on the seal. Behind the door, silence, cold, and the weight of centuries. The door groaned open with a sound like thunder. Dust spiraled into the air as the bronze threshold gave way, revealing a chamber unlike any they'd seen before. The walls were covered, not just in symbols, but in stories, a language half forgotten, winding like vines across every surface. The room was small, circular, and domed. No furniture, no tools, only knowledge, carved into stone. Elif stepped forward, tracing a line of script with her gloved hand. It wasn't Ottoman, it wasn't Latin, it was older, possibly even pre-Christian. Her voice trembled. "This isn't a Han, this is a vault." Elif turned to her recorder, voice trembling. "August 3rd, I'm inside what appears to be a pre-human sanctuary. These inscriptions, they're emitting a low frequency. I can't explain it, but I can hear it, I can feel it." As she placed her palm against one of the carved walls, a low hum vibrated through the stone. It wasn't mechanical, it was organic, alive, almost breathing. Suddenly her earpiece crackled. A voice, not Turkish, not English, not any known tongue. She froze. The voice wasn't recorded, it was live. Then dash and overwhelming silence. Her instrument stopped responding. Compass spun aimlessly. Watch stopped ticking. And then the humming returned. Steady, ancient, calling not just sound, signal. A message. Elif rushed back to the camp, clutching the recorder like a relic. Under her tense flickering oil lamp, she replayed the audio. What began as static slowly morphed into rhythmic pulses, too precise to be random. Then, ... a voice. Not quite human, not mechanical either. Spoke in a cadence that bypassed language, straight into the spine. Her computer translated nothing, but her body reacted. Chills, tears, recognition without comprehension. Like something buried deep inside her had been awakened. She tried again, rewind, play the same chilling cadence. Her eyes darted to the symbols in her notebook. One matched, then another. The message, ... it was responding, not from the past, from somewhere else. And it knew she was listening. She spreads out the recording's waveform next to an ancient scroll. Each curve mirrors a forgotten glyph. As the candle flickers, a realization dawns. This isn't just sound. It's a language older than Babylon, older than known time. Code buried in static. With trembling fingers, she overlays the parchment on the printout. Perfect alignment. Her breath catches. The symbols are not just matching, they are responding. Some faintly glow in rhythm with the playback, like the parchment itself remembers. Outside, thunder rolls over the hills. But she doesn't flinch. The whispering message in her headphones continues. Low, melodic, layered like voices stacked upon centuries. As the night deepens, the scholar retrieves an ancient device found near the chamber's threshold, a rusted, gear-laden disc etched with Greek inscriptions and delicate mechanical arms. It resembles a cross between a compass and an astrolabe, but it hums with latent energy. When placed on the desk beside the scroll, the device reacts to the waveform signal. It's arms shifting slowly, aligning with certain glyphs on the parchment. A soft click echoes in the chamber. The scroll seems to respond, not visually, but sonically. A deep harmonic tone vibrates through the chamber. It's not random. It sounds like language, not modern, not ancient, something in between. The scholar, now completely transfixed, begins to transcribe. Phrase appears again and again. We watched and we remember. The chamber darkened again, but not before the device projected a final image, a vision of Constantine the Great. Not carved in marble or cloaked in imperial robes, but as a worn figure kneeling beside a battlefield, whispering to the wind. The scholar staggered back. Had this machine captured memory itself? As the image faded, the walls began to hum. A low vibration, like a voice reverberating through centuries, called out in Latin, not spoken, but remembered. Non omnis, mora iar ... I shall not wholly die. The quote echoed off stone and bone alike. The scholar, still reeling, realized this was no ordinary relic. This chamber was not a tomb. It was a library of resonance, where echoes of the past were archived not in ink, but in vibration. He had uncovered something that might outlive every empire, not a history book, but history itself, alive and speaking. Suddenly, the vibration stopped. Silence slammed down like a heavy door. From the shadows emerged a figure cloaked, hooded, face hidden, moving with a calm authority that sent chills down the scholar's spine. The knowledge you seek is not merely history. The voice echoed, ancient and grave. It is a burden, a curse, a legacy that guards the fate of empires. Leyla stepped forward, heart pounding but resolute. Who are you? The figure extended a hand, revealing an intricately carved key, the same 12-pointed star etched deep into its surface. This key opens what must never be disturbed again. The council watches still. Remember, some secrets are kept for a reason. And then, as silently as it came, the figure vanished into the darkness, leaving only the echo of a warning. Days passed, but the weight of the warning lingered. Leyla and Cem returned to their research, now aware they were not alone in seeking the truth. Ancient manuscripts hinted at a council so secretive its members were erased from history. Guardians of a knowledge too dangerous for the world above, in the dim glow of candlelight. Leyla whispered, they watched empires rise and fall. But who watches them now? Outside, the city pulsed obliviously, unaware that beneath its foundations, a silent power waited, eternal and patient. Guided by fragmented clues, Leyla and Cem ventured deeper into the labyrinth beneath Istanbul. Their footsteps echoed in a vast hall lined with stone shelves, an archive of forbidden knowledge. Dusty tomes and scrolls, many older than Byzantium, itself awaited discovery. But the air was thick with warning. Here, the past was alive, not as stories, but as shadows watching from every corner. Leyla reached out, brushing away centuries of neglect, knowing some secrets could change the course of history or end it. In the heart of the archive, a whisper stirred, not from lips, but from the stones themselves. Leyla pressed her ear to a cracked wall and heard it. Voices, faint but clear, retelling secrets lost to time. They were the Watchers, she murmured. Guardians of truths too powerful for the world above. The walls echoed back a warning. Remember us, or repeat our fate. Discovery was no longer just academic. It was a summons. As the echoes faded, Leyla and Cem stumbled upon a final chamber sealed by a massive stone door, carved with the 12-pointed star and ancient warnings. Here lay the culmination of the Lost Council's legacy, scrolls bound in chains. Away from the world, with trembling hands, Leyla traced the star. She understood the sacrifice, the knowledge kept hidden not out of fear, but responsibility. Some doors were meant to remain closed, but as the chamber whispered its last secret, a faint pulse stirred beneath their feet, reminding them that history never truly sleeps. Leyla and Cem exited the underground labyrinth, their minds heavy with the weight of what they'd uncovered. The city above bustled as if nothing had changed. But beneath its cobblestones, history whispered, still waiting for those who dared. To listen, they carried with them not just artifacts, but a story, a warning, etched in stone and sound. Some secrets, they realized, were eternal, and some echoes never fade.